material shift. If I was going to go to rock crawl right now, because it wants to go from 4 high to 4 low, it would tell me to stop and put it in neutral.
Okay.
Bowl down here, running back and forth, dropping in and out.
John, AJ, number 15, get ready to drop into the wash.
Copy, AJ. AJ, you have it ready on me. Drop in the wash at the same time as you.
Copy that. I see him off to my left. Can we tell which way he's going to go? We'll be expecting.
Will you
How
be
about
quiet? I'm
that? All right, so I'm going to give him when we get up on top of the house. So once you get to a certain speed, it's going to again. I mean, and this is knocked out wash. There he is. On. Pretty good. And again, this is the kind of like chatter that usually is really hard to take. That's okay back there?
Yeah, we're
good. Take a belt back. You get your shoulders rubbing together fast enough, you guys might catch on fire.
If you widen your shoulders, you don't notice as much.
So again, I try to get up on top of them just so you can see that it doesn't get like super hammered. It actually gets better when you get to a certain point. It's got a ton of travel, and a lot of compliance, and higher action costs.
My stomach went out for a little bit. Flipped for a second.
So you can see we got some rocks ahead, some pretty ledgy stuff. So here we'll show you the rock crawl mode. So this is where it's going to have to make one of those range shifts. So I'm going to go to rock crawl. So it's going to say to me for low, shift to neutral. Bump it up into neutral. Hang tight. Now sometimes you need to let it inch ahead a little bit, but I just felt this shift. So you'll also notice that it disconnects the sway bar. And I'll show you later that you can do that under load as well if you need to. And it locks your rear diff, doesn't lock the front for drivetrain strain. And of course, it's still, even though StabiliTrak is now in an off-road calibrated mode, it's still there. So if it does sense wheel spin and like an open diff, it will break that to try and transfer the power over. Or you could a la carte lock it out as you wish. So when you're in rock crawl, this would be a time when you might want to use one pedal. So it's as simple as pushing that button there. Show one pedal active. Now, one pedal, much like it sounds, makes it so you only have to drive with one pedal. I don't know if you've experienced it yet, but whoops, we're still in neutral. You gas it to go ahead, and it changes the throttle mapping, so it makes a little more sense. And then as I let off, it automatically brakes. It definitely has some really neat practical applications, especially if you're in like a crawling spot. Maybe you got to do like some extra spotting. You're not exactly sure. But when you get up into a situation like this, you kind of remember something was there, but you're not 100% sure. Do I need to, gosh, well, then I can just stop. It's pretty cool. And then going again, it gives you a nice, smooth, like no rollback. And that was again with just one pedal. So it's pretty cool. Automatic brake application, essentially. It's also coupled with trail control, which is like low speed cruise control. So once you have one pedal active, if I wanted to, I could choose a set speed right here for like 2 miles an hour, or it goes in the half mile an hour bracket. And right now it's driving itself at 1.5 mile an hour. So again, this is an application where it's kind of cool if your foot's like bouncing around, or it's a super, long, consistently rough trail, and you don't need to worry about throttle modulation. You can just sort of pick a speed that works for you and cruise along. Again, these individual cameras are really cool. And then again, this the 360 with the vector lines. there are certain situations like when it's blind a little bit and you're trying to really place the wheel, and you can say, oh, I just really want to roll up and over that little rock right there, and it actually does put them there. So pretty cool. You'll also notice it's showing me that this stay bar disconnected, but it reconnects at 20.
Yeah.
That's a cool feature. If you're on a variable road like this, you get a little speed, throw it into a corner, it'll have reconnected that stay bar so you don't get crazy body roll.
So it'll do it at speed and certain situations where it needs it?
Yeah, so if you have it disconnected, as soon as you go over 20 miles an hour, it's going to re-engage it. And then once you get below 20 again, it'll
That's a
let it
good
loose.
camera.
Yeah.
So again, cool, like, oh, I want to roll up, right up and onto that ledge. And you can just put your tire up there. And then again,
Look at that.
you can see right exactly where I said it was going to go. So I like these cameras are for the first time
Useful.
Useful. Yeah, instead of like this
Yeah.
thing that like makes you feel like I wish I could see that better.
Yeah.
You got all the cameras? Does it come with all of them?
Huh? No, it's just part of the high package,
Yeah.
high and looked.
Oh. So this like sharp edge, this is an example of where I would say, okay, Squatch is going to have a slightly better ride quality, give you better like crawlability. Again, I'm more of like a fast sand wash, desert road, kind of off-road.
Did he have one reserved?
Not yet.
A wild track then, I'm guessing.
No, I'm going to say something out loud that's actually kind of embarrassing.
Go base.
No, I think I might get a Bronco Sport.
Oh, okay.
The reason being because I get to drive Broncos at work. And actually as a daily and in my life, it's probably actually more what I need. And it's really good. And I'm actually excited about showcasing Bronco Sport because I like underdogs. And everybody thinks Bronco Sport's going to be terrible. And it's actually not. So it's kind of fun to be like, why do you drive a Bronco Sport? Because honestly, with this goat mode technology mixed into that four-wheel independent little platform, it does some incredible stuff. Its only weakness is essentially ground clearance and underbody. But again, I'm not super Rocky Basher guy, and I have rigs that we can do that in. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's totally midlife crisis kind of, get something fun and, reminisce about the old days when my grandpa had like a, old 67.
Totally.
So.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, right? It's super retro and feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely into them. If I got one, I would probably get essentially this spec right here. But I like them in white.
Oh man, that's what my wife keeps saying.
They're cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But white car people are white car people. I've always liked stuff in white, so
It is so true though, on like the dirt and everything. They just, they don't show it quite as bad.
They look so
Scratches and
much
stuff
better.
like that.
They really do. If the Bronco Sports are up here, you'll see all the colors lined up, and it's funny. The white one looks like it hadn't been drawn.
Yeah.
And so the lady said, "Did you just run this through the wash?" It's like the magic of white.
Yep.
So you can feel true four low, like even on that descent right there. That was just gearing, helping us down. I didn't even have to use the brake or descent control. So again, that's just engine braking.
Yeah, get out. Okay.
And then the shadows are sort of when I like to show you the resolution of the camera, even in the shadows. Like you can still see tire marks and stuff, which usually on the light dark on the little cameras you
Right.
get super poor resolution on one or the other. I think it actually does a good job. Earlier when there was a shadow across a trail, it was really cool how you could so definitively see stuff.
I wonder how much more you for him to bring him back to Bronco. Probably a lot.
One thing that will be a little bit different
Try to widen your shoulder.
is these kind of rides.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. It'll make it less bumpy. You don't have to like try and flex.
I'm a bird.
First dude's all clear.
What do you want?
And Angie's coming in behind him, buddy.
I can't read.
You can't read. That's good. Make that read shaking. You never learned something?
Alright, so now we're getting
if we
along here
start.
out of the rocky stuff. I'll goat mode us. Again, this is why it's cool, the goat modes, because it just simplifies the whole process. You
I
know?
didn't. Okay.
So now I'm going to come up here, select my sand mode. I recognize that icon. It's going to want me to shift to neutral. Let it do its thing. It's going to go to high range. Clunk. See, it's got a locked rear diff.
John, FYI, we got kids in the bowl. We don't see them.
Kids in the bowl. So now we're in sand mode. Our stabilizer bar is reconnected, and we'll head on into dunes. Now it's a big heavy truck, so but it does a really nice job. And some of that is in that software, the mapping of traction.
There it is. That's crazy. Freaking awesome. It's like the softest sand too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, you're cool. It's all good.
Okay, so about the quality, Dad.
Right.
This is just.
It
It has a mind of its own.
Look at that. That is amazing.
I need to get it. It won't turn.
So, say you're out four-wheeling, you head off into a direction, you're like, oh, dude,